how many people out there have such ridiculous sums of money, truly ridiculous sums of money. There are so many rich people in the world, and it's kind of like your reality is based on, it's the Matrix, right? If you're broke, everyone's broke. If you're rich, everyone's rich. And a lot of people have this separation. I was lucky to live in both worlds, but a lot of people have this separation. Nobody goes, wow, he went to school. He studied hard.
Right.
Do they fuck? They're like drug dealer, gangster. And they do that because they know that the easiest way to amass wealth is to break the rules, because the rules are not designed to allow most people to make money. You can make money within the rules, of course you can, but most people don't. Most people who follow the path, work, consume, die. That's it.
Yeah.
So I always knew the same thing as you, and I knew there had to be another way. I knew that just working for money was a paradigm that wasn't true. And then you understand making your money work for you, and you understand delinking your time from money. You start learning to understand these things, but eventually you build a system, and you build an ecosystem like me. I have 60 or 70 people work for me all around the world, and things just happen and money just kind of appears as long as everything's well organized. But in terms of making money, it's certainly easier than it's ever been, because we live in a global marketplace now. You can reach the world, and all you have to do is have a message worth making people listen to. The hard part about making money today is that we live in an attention economy. You have to garner attention from people. It's difficult, right? Because anyone can start a YouTube channel, but it's getting the views that's hard, right?
Yeah.
So you have to be talented enough and skillful enough to garner attention. But if you can garner attention, then you can make money. I think that's the new modern way to view the world. It's an attention economy. It doesn't matter what you do. If you're getting attention, you'll make money from it. Investing in yourself, especially learning from somebody who is already doing what you want to do, is not risky. And you're right, the people who believe that's risky are just stuck deep inside the matrix, because you're right, they're going to pay 60, 70,000 pounds for a degree from university, which is one, completely useless. And secondly, it's always kind of been amazing to me. You talked about kickboxing. If I want to go learn kickboxing, I expect my coach to be able to fight. If I want to go learn piano, I want to see my piano teacher play piano. Yeah. But people will go to university and learn business from a dude who's never had a business, who's broke. It's just like, it's clown world, it's stupid. Like, education's becoming decentralized, which is actually one of my products, so I'm going to talk about it. But education is becoming decentralized now with the internet, and the smartest thing you can do is look at somebody's life and go, this guy is living, or he's doing exactly what I want to do. I'll learn from him. That is the smartest thing you can do, as opposed to just going to these traditional educational systems. Because the reason university is such a massive scam, and I said this a million times, is because it exists in an echo chamber. It doesn't exist in fair competition. The reason universities still manage to function is because they'll give children loans to go to these schools, but you're not allowed to use the loan for anything else. If I were to say to the average 18-year-old, here's 50 grand. You can either start your own business, you can buy crypto, you can buy mentorship from you, me, another millionaire online, you can fix your house up or your parents' house up, you can buy a nice car, or you can go get a degree. And you're given the 50 G's. How many people do you think would choose a degree?
None.
Nobody. Zero. So they link the loan to the degree. So the choices are either don't get the loan at all, or get the loan and go to school. Yeah. Which means that the universities don't exist in fair competition. There's no fair competition within the entire educational system. Right. As soon as there's fair competition, nobody would choose it, because it's such a terrible choice. Yeah. It suffers from double inflation. It gets more expensive every year, and more degrees exist every year. So the value goes down, the price goes up, year on year on year on year. It's a total waste of time. Yeah. But children are bored, and they think, well, I don't get the money any other way, so I may as well take it. And that's why the whole educational system's a scam. Any man out here who goes, I'm just going to work hard, do my bit, and obey the laws, and I'll have a good life. No, you won't. No, you will not. Just doing your job is never going to make you rich, because you're just going to be taxed into infinity and you're going to stay broke. So just obeying laws and doing your job now has set you up to be a peon and a slave for eternity. You have to get yourself in a position where you're making enough money that, I'm not saying laws can be broken, but there certainly can be bent. I mean, I think you know this with accountancy and the way that tax laws work. You get to a certain level where it's like, okay, yeah, we can just put that one. Firstly, I'm gonna tell you something about myself and most rich people. We don't own anything. I don't own anything. I don't own anything. There may be a trust fund in Ecuador that owns a company in Singapore that might own a yacht that I can borrow, for example. I don't own shit. So that's the first thing. The second thing, you have all these different jurisdictions around the world. It's extremely complicated. How are you going to tax a rich guy? He has houses here, houses there, company here, company there, all the companies making a loss. Does Starbucks pay tax? No, Starbucks supposedly doesn't make money. Supposedly Uber's never made profit. An app on the phone with millions of cars around the world and people working endless hours for them and them getting a cut of it to run an app. Supposedly they've never made profit, never paid a penny tax. Funny how that works. You can't tax the rich. It's too complicated. You can't tax the rich. It doesn't work. All you're going to do is just drive them into other countries. If England right now today were to announce a huge tax on the rich people would just go, oh, cool. I'll base my company out of Belize. When I say don't own anything, I mean, I don't want to work on a public podcast here. I guess it depends on your ethos towards business. The problem with owning something is that it can be taken from you. So let's look at it the American way. In America, litigation is a big problem. Everyone gets sued all the time. So you don't want to own anything, because if you get sued, then you're going to have to pay that debt, and you might have to sell your assets to pay that debt.
Not if it's in a company though, if it's in a limited company.
Correct. This is the point. People don't even think about this stuff. They don't use their brain ever. They don't ever look around and realize how they're spending their money. They don't look around and look at which businesses are successful. They don't look around and pay attention to anything. They don't look at the world and all the things that are happening and how it can benefit them. None of it. They don't look at any of it. They're too busy following the circus. That's why it's clown world. They know all about the football results.
Right,
They know all about Rihanna.
Yeah.
They know all about that crap, all about Love Island. They'll talk about Love Island all day. The same people who will march and fucking for labor saying, oh, the Tories are bad, labor. Watch Love Island at night. Oh, no wonder you're broke. You're a fool. You're a dummy. And no matter what the government does, no matter what a government or a financial system, no matter what they put together, it's always going to be competitive to some degree. Unless it's communism, which has been tried and they're trying to bring back, and we know how that all ends. Communism ends very, very quickly in violence because there's no other way to enforce anything. But no matter what they do or what law they make, there's going to be people who work harder than you and they're going to make more money than you. So if you're going to be a lazy dummy watching Love Island and not paying attention every time you spend money and not try and think and use your brain, guess what? You're going to stay fucking broke.
Yeah.
And I'm also going to say this now. I know for a fact when I talk about how the world works, and people say, but why would the people in charge do that? And I say, because they view you as scum. And the reason they view you as scum is, I can say this, and I'm not saying this in a horrible way. I'm from a council estate, right? I came from absolutely nothing. And I'm now at my position in life, and I know how hard I've worked. When I meet somebody who's whatever, 50 years old, and they have absolutely zero money, I don't think, oh, he's had it hard. I thought, you just didn't, you're just lazy. Your sympathy disappears after a certain amount of time. When you pull it off, you pull it off, I pulled it off. When you've been through X amount of shit to pull it off, and everyone's just coming out with excuses all the time, sympathy vanishes.
Yeah.
Like, look, I'm sorry, I don't buy your shit.
Right.
You were too busy sniffing, drinking pints, doing all this dumb shit. I wasn't doing it. I don't feel sorry for you people. And that's what happens after a certain amount of time. So if I feel that way, and I'm also from a council estate, imagine these people who were born as billionaires. Yeah. How do you think they view us? You think they give a shit about wrecking our currency? I don't give a fuck. You better find something to eat on the floor. They don't give a shit. This world is so much crueler than people understand. I've had people all the time come to me saying, yeah, I want to make money. Go take a half an hour and learn about fractional reserve banking. Learn you don't even know how money works.
Yeah.
You don't even know how a bank works. Like, how are you gonna make something you don't know what it is?
Right.
If anybody with a brain didn't invest in pharmaceutical companies at the beginning of COVID, I mean, if you didn't buy stock in Abbott at the beginning of COVID, don't know why. If you didn't invest in the arms companies at the beginning of this forever war, I don't know why. Like, it's easy. Where's the money going? To Ukraine to buy guns. So what am I gonna do? I'm gonna buy stock in Raytheon. Like, it's not complicated stuff. It goes into also, we'll talk about network and how important that is. But it's interesting you say about being in the room where people are talking about property deals. I say the same thing. I say this to people. I say, if you're in a room full of ice cream experts, and all they talk about is ice cream, how to make ice cream, their favorite flavor, the best way to store it, how much it costs to produce, how to transport it, and that's all they talk about is ice cream. Even if you have no interest in ice cream, over a long enough period of time, you're gonna end up knowing stuff about ice cream. You're gonna end up knowing shit. You're gonna be like, that's double chocolate this, it costs this much, and this is how they moved it. Da, da, da. You're gonna know things about ice cream. If you're in a room full of people who only talk about money, then you're gonna end up knowing about money. It's exactly the same thing. And network is net worth, everyone understands this. And people also understand that they're likely to become the sum of the 5 people they spend the most time with.
Yeah.
But then they hang around with losers. A cloud comes, it rains, it falls down to the ground, it goes under the ground, whatever, goes into a stream, it moves into the stream, goes to the ocean, evaporates again up into a cloud, floats somewhere else, falls down again. It's always moving. That's how money is. People think that money is in these large, stagnant pools hidden in people's bank accounts. That's not really true. Money is constantly moving all the time. And if you can find a way to get in between it and stand in the right place at the right time, you're gonna get wet.